you have it around your neck, I have it in the background, BinaBears. Let's start at the beginning. What was the reason why you chose to start BinaBears? What was the inspiration for it? What is your why? What's the BinaBears origin story?
Oh my. Um, the origin story, it could be looking back, it could be dated beginning in high school when my grandma passed away. And that was like the first time I watched her, go through the process of like dying, and taking her last breath. And that was wild. Like no one growing up, nobody talks about it in general. Nobody talks about like the physical like aspect of like a human being taking their last breath and like what happens to your eyes, the sunken ears, the skin, um, and just everything. And I was like, oh my gosh, wow. And after that, during high school, I volunteered for hospice care. Um, and I was a volunteer, and I volunteered at hospice homes where folks would go and take their loved ones who are like near death. Um, and yeah, I would help families, sit with them and hear their stories about their loved ones. I would sit with the patients, whether they were alert or not, and just be for them and comfort them, because even if they're not alert, I know that it's a scary process for like the person that is dying to be going through that by themselves. So it's always nice to have like someone there with them, knowing that they'll be okay in their next transition. But yeah, through all of that, I learned how to make memory bears. And it's a big thing. Like I know not a lot of people know about memory bears, but a lot of folks, usually older folks, be sewing them. I'm usually the young one that's on the sewing machine, but they just take clothes that belong to their loved ones and create them into a everlasting keepsake. And I really found joy in creating those bears. It was my senior project for high school. And then after that, I, went to college. And then I want to say my senior year, I was gifted a sewing machine from my mom. Very emotional, because I knew that I didn't know it at the time that like, BinaBears, the business was gonna be a thing, but I knew in my spirit, like the sewing machine like means so much. Because this is something that I can use to create things that bring people joy. Um, so yeah, I had a lot of time to think, of course, being the Peace Corps. I dove into a lot of videos of like, yeah, just a lot of videos learning about different things to do and make impact in the world, and entrepreneurship came into my life. And I had to understand what that word even means, because nobody in my family was a business owner. Entrepreneurship wasn't talked about. It wasn't a topic of discussion. Um, but yeah, so it was already stewing in my mind. And then my mom was the one, she was just like, I got a message from God saying, being a bear, it's like you need to have like a business where you create bears. And I see it being called BinaBears. I was just like, okay, that's nice. I didn't, the first time she said, I was just like, oh, okay, because I was still in that mindset, like, I probably just need to get a job, like, you know. Um, but she said, to this day, she was like, I don't know what, that's what God told me, so I just told you. And then when I came back after the pandemic, I was still trying to figure out, like, I don't know what to do. And then she said it again. She was like, why don't you just do BinaBears? Just try it out. I'm like, okay, here we go. Let's do it. So I ended up reading a book by Gary Vee called Crushing It. And he was just talking about entrepreneurship and social media and how you can use these tools to maximize your business and to really make impact on the world, and how you can use these tools in an effective way. And he was the first, I think, entrepreneur that I truly looked up to and learned a lot from. He popped up on my algorithm in Moldova, and it makes sense because he, you know, grew up in the Soviet
Mhm.
Union area. It's like, wow, the connection. But yeah, so that is how BinaBears came to play. I told myself, you need to finish that book before you even start doing anything else. So I finished the book, created my own website, did a lot of just learning on my own, trying things out, and I launched it in November 19th, 2020. And yeah, it was an ode to all the people that have passed away in my life.
Mhm.
And yeah, although it was a very healing process, as the years went on, I like dove into it very deeply to the point where I wasn't even like thinking about
Mhm.
all of my problems and all of my like healing that I needed to do. I kind of used that as like, oh, this is my healing. Like, this is, you know, I'm helping others, so it's helping me. And no. Yes, it did that. Yes, it did help others, but I didn't prioritize myself first, and that's what led to my break. But yeah, that was like the holistic story of BinaBears and kind of coming into the relaunch. And yeah.